Three things that Donald Trump needs to do in order to win tonight's presidential debate and therefore to help him win the presidency. Let's get right to this. Number one, by far for me, the biggest thing when it comes to policy, the border. He's got to hammer the border. He's got to say, hey, Kamala, 10 million plus illegals have come into the United States during the presidency of Joe Biden, which you are the number two in that failed presidency, and you were the border czar. I know we're not supposed to say that because it's not an official title, but we all know that's true. You were the border czar, and it has been abject, catastrophic, absurd failure at the border. At least if you view rule of law, sovereignty, and the future of this country being a prosperous one, if you have those ideas, then it's a disaster at the border. If you want to fundamentally transform the American electorate such that you can have a one-party, uniparty state going forward, maybe then the border mess is exactly what Democrats want. But back to the border, Trump has to hammer 10 million plus illegals in 4 years. Outrageous, total scam against the American people. And talk about what's going on in New York. Talk about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio. Tell the people what is happening, because not of just Democrats, of the Biden-Harris administration. I know Biden is even really the president. He's like kind of a make-believe president, but this is important. He's got to get to the border in a way where he makes it clear this is costing cities, including a lot of Democrat cities, billions of dollars, lots of crime, terrible stuff going on here. It's putting pressure on the housing market, putting pressure on the hotel market in places like New York. Everything's more expensive now. It is a total mess. And they're just going to try to legalize all the illegals who have come into the country in a Kamala administration, and they also have no problem with what's already happened. They just don't want to be held accountable for it. And don't let them get away with this lie. Oh, Trump shut down the bipartisan border bill. Trump has no political power. Members of the smart senators on the Republican side knew that the whole thing was a trap and a scam. And it wasn't going to do anything to secure the border in a meaningful way. It certainly wasn't going to handle the millions of illegals who are in the country. So put all this together. 10 plus million illegals, the worst border in history, an invasion of illegals while Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are in charge of the executive branch because they turned back Trump policies that were working. This was the decision that they made. He has to hammer this. 10 million plus illegals. If he wants to say it's 12 million or 14 million, whatever, it's Trump. It might be like 200 trillion illegals. But no, really, he has to just say the border crisis. He has to shout it. Not literally shout it, but he has to hammer that issue. Number two, the Kamala flip-flops. He should say Kamala wants to build a wall now. Kamala doesn't want to ban fracking now. Kamala doesn't want to give taxpayer-funded sex change operations to illegals as soon as they cross the border if they demand them. Kamala doesn't even want to ban plastic straws anymore. Kamala is lying. And that is the critical takeaway. That is the part of this that certainly the Democrats don't want you paying any attention to, right? That Kamala Harris is a total fabrication. And the flip-flops are intended to fool good, honest Americans into thinking that Kamala Harris is something when it comes to politics and her beliefs that she is not. It's offensive. It's condescending to the voters. So he's got to hammer all these flip-flops on everything. And she has no explanation for these things because I think she actually very much is still in favor of everything she's flip-flopped on. She just knows that they are not popular publicly, right? Or across America, I should say. They're broadly popular. She knows that these are things that will not work for her. And so that's why she doesn't even walk away from them herself. She has other people walk away from them. I talked with the Kamala flip-flops. I think this is so important, though, because she's a phony. She's a phony politically. She's a phony in how they're presenting her record and how they're presenting what she would do. It's all lies, 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 and more lies. And then for me, the number 3 on this list of what Trump needs to do, don't lose it. Now, maybe you could say, yeah, don't lose the debate. That's good advice, right? Try to win the debate. No, I mean, don't lose his cool. Don't let Kamala bait him into an aggressive exchange where they'll all say, oh, look, he's trying to bully a woman and look at Trump doing what he does. It's just that all Kamala really can do tonight is try to hold this whole mirage together of what her candidacy really is. And if she gets through this debate without there being a complete catastrophe moment, total catastrophe moment, then I think for her, that is essentially the best that she can expect. There is no winning for her because she doesn't have good ideas. She doesn't present ideas well. She's not a compelling politician. She's not a good debater. She's not very smart. So the fact that she's going to be up there against Donald Trump presents an opportunity, but it's not for Trump to throw verbal haymakers and roundhouse kicks, Chuck Norris style. It's so that he can have the American people see that for all of the efforts of the Democrats to cover it up, they cannot change the clear and obvious reality, which is that Kamala Harris was a drag on Joe Biden's ticket as the vice president for the 4 years of the Biden presidency. She was a failure as the border czar. She is somebody that not even the Democrat base has any confidence in really whatsoever. And this whole thing is just a game to beat Trump. Whatever they're saying about what she believes, whatever they're saying about, the future of a Kamala Harris presidency, it is what is there now. It will totally change in January if she's sworn into office. So, look, she's behind in the polls. Everybody knows that she's losing this election right now. So she actually has, I think, greater risk here in some ways than Trump does, because if she starts to slide considerably, let's say 2 or 3 points in the polling after this debate, it's going to be all over for her. I think everybody can see that. The best outcome for Kamala is either even or up a point after this debate, in my mind. I don't think she's going to be strong at all. I don't think she has it in her. So that's how I see it. And, for all the words that I like to speak on the radio and podcast, I also like to write. That's why I've launched this email newsletter that is a deep dive into issues of the week. And I'm partnering with a few different people on this so we can get economic insights, financial insights. But these days, I've been writing my insights down for you on this. We'll have other people, guest columnists, and other things going forward. And it comes out on Mondays, and it's a free email newsletter. All you have to do is go sign up at theurgentmessage.com. This is a multi-person effort. Go to theurgentmessage.com, and you can sign up, receive my next edition for free, theurgentmessage.com. Trump's going to win this debate, and Trump's going to win the election. So that is the good news I have for you, but it's going to be a little tense between now and then. So what do? Shields high.